Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are starting the third creature in our Savannah Biome mini-series. So today we're doing the first of the predators, which I'm very excited for. I'm like kind of hoping we get something that can fight off like bug-like creatures. It's just like we had such good like plated prey creatures that we need something beefy that can get through those platings. So I'm curious to see what we're going to roll today for our first predator. So I have the same Savannah biome breakdown here again. So let's go ahead and generate and see what we get. So our first one is a 19. Okay, let me count that out. So that gives us a hyena. Oh, I love hyenas. They're one of my favorite animals ever. I love them so much. So I'm so excited to have this as one of the predators. Okay, next up, let's roll again for our second monster. And it looks like we got a 14. Okay, let me count that. And it's a wildebeest. Oh, what a cool combo. A hyena wildebeest. I love it. It's going to be really, really cool. I just love wildebeest too. And then our final creature, let's go ahead and roll. That's a 17. And that leaves us an aardvark. Yes. I'm so excited because I was wondering about like our termite impala. I'm like, what could be the predator for that thing? And then now having the aardvark, this combo could be like kind of a bigger, beefier monster that can like hit away the termite impalas and try to get to like the babies of the brood. Oh, it'll be so cool. Okay, let's jump in and get some sketching going because I already have so many ideas swirling and I want to get it on paper. So let's jump in and get that started. Okay, so for this initial sketch phase, I kind of already had like a really fun idea for this creature. And I was like, oh, I got to get it on paper as soon as possible. Basically, this gave me kind of like almost like bear vibes in a way when I was combining the idea of the hyena and the wildebeest and then having this long tongue. It makes me think of, I think if I remember correctly, the sun bear has a long tongue, or there's like another bear that has like a super, super long tongue. So when I was drawing the face, I wanted it to be kind of that wider, bigger mouth, like I guess just a wider hyena face. And then I incorporated the aardvark ears and the claws of the aardvark as well as the tongue, because I knew the rest of the body, I really wanted it to be a highlight of the hyena and the wildebeest together. I just really like the idea of this bigger, beefier creature, especially because like if it's going to be fighting against potentially the termite impalas, I think it would need some strength behind it to be able to defend itself against these larger creatures, because they're not little baby termites anymore like a usual aardvark would probably eat. They're big and beefy and they have ways of biting it, you know? So it needs to be a larger creature to be able to like swat them away, get through them, either eat them or eat the brood. So I kind of foresee this one. God, what would be a good size comparison? I'm just thinking about like a lion and a bear mixed together, but it's probably the size of like a polar bear is my guess in my brain. It's a larger creature for sure and very intimidating to come across in the savannah. So for the pose, I wanted it to look like it was like ready to like swipe at whatever was coming at it, whether that's like a termite or maybe like another imposing one of these, like fighting for territory or something, just because I thought it would give it a really cool dynamic look. I really liked the first sketch I made for it, so this was really hard to like push myself to do something different, even though I really like how it turned out. There's just sometimes that I really like the initial sketch and I'm like, oh, this would still make a really cool drawing, but instead I'll just use it in the next creature compendium, because this one for sure has to go in number 3. I just love this creature so much. So we'll put that as like a little bit of like a sketch page in a way, like within the stat pages, because in my creature compendiums, I make it look like my field manual, and I include like any concept sketches to make it look like I'm discovering them and like sketching them for like reference. And so I'm for sure going to use the older sketch because I just really like how it turned out. So from there, it was time to get stuck in and do a bunch of line work because I added so much hair and so many little details to this creature. So I knew the line work was going to take a while. But I guess in the meantime, we can talk about maybe more of like what this creature does, the ecosystem and how it works. And generally, I guess, how it survives in this, like the savannah and its lifestyle and its family units. I think that'd be kind of fun to like brainstorm with you guys. So like I already said, I think the main source of food would be the termite impalas. I feel that one fits well with this creature. Like I said, also, it probably goes into the brood, tries to eat the small eggs and things with that long tongue. And then also I could see it eating the actual larger termite impalas, but I think it prefers like the eggs and maybe the sap that's left over from like creating the brood. You know, it's kind of like with a bear getting honey from bees. It's a similar thing where I think it would eat the young plus like the excrement of creating the young. I think that's its preferred food of choice, but you know, with those big chompers, I think it would also probably eat like the bodies of the termite antelope. And in terms of like, I guess, familial units, I could see these being kind of more solo predators. I don't really see them traveling in groups as frequently, but maybe kind of like bears, they, you know, meet up for mating, but then part ways throughout the rest of the season. Just because like, I don't know, I don't see them like traveling in herds as much. I don't feel they would be similar to lions or hyenas actually, you know. But I guess if we go off of the original mashed creature, like the hyenas do travel in like small packs. Same, the wildebeest travel in huge packs. But God, can you imagine a huge pack of these giant like bear dogs? Oh my gosh, that'd be so terrifying. But yeah, I don't know. I personally am getting the vibe of like a solo hunter, kind of like a bear. But I'd love your guys' thoughts and feedback on it, because we do have two creatures within the mash that travel in packs. The aardvark, they're also solo hunters. They don't really travel with other aardvarks. So it could really go either way just based off of what it's being mashed with. But I do think just based off of like the food and maybe how it lives, I could see it being a solo creature. In terms of like the use of the different parts that I incorporated from the different animals, like I said already, like we have the nice aardvark talons, or I guess like the little diggers, and those would be used to kind of break into the brood and be able to get to the food that it really wants. I do foresee maybe it using its horns as well to both fight off the antelope termites, but it could also maybe use them to scrape into things. Kind of like, I think like big cats, they like sharpen their claws on trees and other things, but I could see this one, you know, putting its horns against trees to sharpen them, but also using them to cut into the brood of the termite impalas, and that also helps them get further into the nest as well. So I think the horns could double as both protection / attacking usage, but also a way to get into like the juicy morsels that they really want. And then I did incorporate the aardvark ears, but I think they could work either way. Like they also, like these for sure are aardvark ears, but they give me the vibe of kind of like the wildebeest ears as well. And I think that would help them like hear with like where an active brood would be and be able to determine if there was any type of like small critters within the tree or not. And then they knew like, okay, my food is here. We're set. We're good. Let's like dive into this tree. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit about them. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments on if there's like some interesting abilities or something more about them that I should add for like the future creature compendium. I really love them. I love this creature so much. It's so cool. And I really like the pose that we ended up landing on. So after we finished rendering and coloring it, it was time to get in and try to do the grass background. Again, I'm trying to push myself with each of these to like learn to render and paint grass, but it has been a while since I painted the first two, so I feel my brain like forgot everything that I previously did. So it was a little bit of an uphill battle for me to remember exactly how I did it, you know? I think I need to start looking up a couple tutorials, because like I like where I'm hitting, at least with my rendering of like the grass for these, but I feel they could be even better if I just like looked up a few more tutorials on how to like paint this type of stuff, you know? So I think that's going to be my goal for coming up. I know one of my bingo sheet cards is to enroll in some type of class, and I have a bunch saved on like my Skillshare and other stuff, and maybe one of them will just be background painting. I like really need to dedicate to like learning it a little bit more in depth. And I think practicing it overall has been helping a lot. And there we have it. We have our epic, awesome Hyena, wildebeest, Aardvark, and I absolutely adore how this one turned out. I'm so proud of this one because I wanted to do a really cool dynamic pose. Like I've been telling you guys, I'm trying to push my creature looks. And I loved how the first sketch turned out just because you can see so much of the design. And I think he looks really cool, but I'm really glad I pushed myself to try a really cool pose. It was great incorporating like the hyena mouth and then pulling from the striped hyena as well with like mixing it with the wildebeest. I felt was such a good call because they just mesh so well together, both because of like colors and textures and patterns, but it's just like, I don't know, it just works really well together. And then I incorporated like the aardvark, like harder talon type of thing. So this thing can like dig into the big acacia tree broods that the termites have. And then once it digs in, it can use its like ferocious teeth to like either eat or fend off the termite antelopes and then use its long tongue to get to like the little baby broods. I think it works so well for our predator combo. We got really lucky with this roll. I was thinking she could also use her horns to like scrape against the brood as well. Like another way to like try to break through the nest, I think could work really well for those like wildebeest horns. This was like the perfect roll for our creature combo, and I'm so happy that we got it. We got really lucky because I wanted something that could work with our weird bug creatures. I don't think this one would really interact or like try to hunt our wildebeest hares, so we're gonna have to see if the next predator could be the direct predator for our wildebeest hares, because I feel this one is like bigger, bulkier, a little bit slower. I don't think it would have a great chance catching that fast little creature. But either way, thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out my channel. I'm having a lot of fun with the Savannah biome, and you guys are leaving a lot of fun comments of other biomes I should try and other monster matches I should do. So if you have any other ideas, leave them down in the comments below. I want to give a shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me and helping me with my art business. If you guys would like to directly support me and support my channel and like my whole little gig here now that I've gone full time, check out my Patreon. I send out a monthly mail club where you can get a sticker, a print, and a sticker sheet, and the theme changes every month, and it's usually some kind of fun like little monster thing. So if you want to check that out and jump on this month, you can grab it right now before the end of April, and then it'll be shipped to you next month. Thank you again to my patrons for directly supporting me. You guys are awesome. And thank you guys for also supporting me by watching my videos, subscribing, liking, commenting. You know the drill, the whole shebang. Every view and every share really helps the algorithm and helps my business grow. So I really appreciate you guys supporting me in any way that you have. But either way, thanks again so much for stopping by, everybody. And I will see you next time for our final video for the predator creature. Bye, everybody.